One of the great things about having 30 acres is that I can forage. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've foraged on the property so far, going back to the spring. Here in Tennessee, there's some great forage, and one of the things that I found on the property is Shiso. I'll put up its other names. These all have a bunch of names. But this is a Asian plant, and it is used as an herb or a tea, and even pickled. I have tried some of it fresh. It's okay, it's not bad, kind of minty. I think it is in the mint family. I did try pickling a little bit of it. That was okay, a little tough. And I also tried doing a little stir fry. Again, a little tough, but it tasted pretty good. When this was younger, before it flowered, I dried a bunch of it, and I'm going to make it into tea. Some of these dried shiso leaves look like. Kind of maintains a little bit of that reddish color. You can get the green on the other side. At this point, they're just crumbling up. It smells really minty. It's almost a mintiness combined with a certain fruitiness. It's not extremely minty like spearmint or anything, but it's like, I don't know. It's tough to describe. Just go find your own. The other cool thing about this is I got stung by a bee one day out here, and I couldn't remember if I had read that this was a topical treatment as well. It could help with wounds or cuts or bug bites, but it was kind of throbbing and stinging, obviously. So I went over, I grabbed some of this, chewed it up, and put it on the bee sting, and it went away in like 20 seconds. And I'm a big believer in the placebo effect. Whatever works, works, but I don't think this one was the placebo effect. I looked it up later, and yeah, it can be really good at taking away that pain. Now I'll just cut to past Joe and show you some of the other stuff that I foraged throughout the spring and summer. I'm super excited right now because I just found one of the first spring edibles, and I saw this at another part of the stream, but we got this whole shelf here full of watercress, and it's got this cool little shape. It's actually St. Patrick's Day, kind of reminds me of like a shamrock or something, and it's spicy. Like, I love arugula, and this is like arugula on steroids. It's got that extra spice to it. Almost tastes like a little bit like horseradish. That's so good. And there's a whole shelf full right here, and as long as I don't take too much at once, it should just keep coming back. Just found the first chanterelle of the season. I'm not gonna pick it yet because these are still really small. I don't know if these in particular are gonna get any bigger. I think those two will. But I wanna find a whole bunch of them before I pick them because I wanna feast. I sort of missed the boat on the chanterelles. I kept waiting for like a bigger, meatier harvest, and it just didn't come. I think it's too late for chanterelles at this time of year, but because the last couple of rains haven't produced any. I do like foraging the mushrooms. Certain mushrooms are a lot safer than other ones. Chanterelles are one of those ones that's pretty easy to identify. You can see this other one that I found as well. It's called a beefsteak. I didn't try it this time, and I've never tried it before. I'm always more cautious, obviously, at the very beginning. One thing about these, though, is that they have pores on the bottom, and definitely not everything with pores is edible, but the most deadly mushrooms have gills, not pores. So that's one of those things that it's a little bit safer to start with mushrooms that have the pores. So here's the path I made earlier in the year to get blackberries. They're red right now, but they turn black. And you can just see how many of them are not ripe yet, but there's tons back there. They're all gone by this time of year, and the path is getting a little grown over. But then more recently, I made another path in order to get to some elderberry. I love elderberry. It's not like the best tasting berry, but it's just a really cool, like, it's super good for you, super antiviral. Here it is. And you can see that's the leaf right there. And so this whole patch is elderberry, blackberry, and then this is sumac, which you can actually also make like a tea out of this. And the leaves look very similar to elderberry. It's a similar pattern, at least. I think it might be a little bit too late for me to harvest a ton of these in bulk because these are already looking a little light. I bought a little bit of elderberry syrup from the Amish market, so if I need some for this winter, like get a cold or something, could be a good way to cure myself. And just eating handfuls here and there, I like to do. It's not like the sweetest, most delicious berry you've ever had. It has like a slight sweetness to it, very slight bitterness, but the seeds are really large, so I end up just spitting them out. It's really something you probably want to turn into a syrup, elderberry wine. I want to do some elderberry wine, but I'm gonna need so many of these. When it has the flowers are also can be used in teas once they're dried out, and that's also antiviral. And I left these other little ones here that were just growing, and I kind of mowed around them, and I figured if I ended up with a elderberry patch, like why work against nature if it's trying to give you wild edible plants? I mean, I'm gonna make a food forest, so why don't I just start with what nature's already given me? And that's what I'm doing. Here's another elder I just left in the ground, and it didn't flower this year. The state flower of Tennessee is actually passion flower, and we have these passion fruit vines. They're all eaten up, and I haven't seen that many passion fruit, but I haven't actually looked that hard. But I was hoping, you know, to look at some of these. Oh, there's one. So sometimes they call it a maypop, and I don't think this is ripe. I think it needs some time. So I guess my problem was I just wasn't looking. So maybe I'll leave this out here and come back for it in a little while. Just the other day, I was walking through the woods and I found some hickory nuts. And hickory nuts were actually the first edible thing I found on the property before we'd even bought it. We were walking down the stream in October, and I found a hickory nut, cracked it open, and that's what these are here. The only difference between what I'm showing you here is these are what's inside this larger husk. So I think what these are is what they call pignut hickory, which they say is only good for pigs. It's not as good. Whereas these ones are the larger hickory, could be shagbark hickory. There's a bunch of other types of hickories, so I don't really know what it is, but it's a hickory. So I just wanted to compare these two and see what tastes better. Actually, you can see that this is already cracking open a little bit, so I'm gonna use my little nutcracker here and just see what it's looking like on the inside. All right, so this one's not good actually. It's all dried and crumbled. So, all right, good. This one's got some good nut meat in there. They're in the pecan family. It looks a lot like a walnut too on the inside. I think that they're a little bit harder to extract compared to some of those other nuts. I think a lot of those other ones have been cultivated. They selectively breed them. They take the best. So yeah, actually that's all I got out of that half of it. Tastes pretty good. It definitely has like, I don't know if the word is a gamier flavor. It's like a deeper flavor to me compared to walnuts. Not as sweet as pecans. I see, this is my problem. I can't say pecan, which is what I want to say, but if I say pecan, it sounds like a can that you pee into. And if I say pecan, it sounds like pretentious, like I'm somebody from Newport, Rhode Island or something. Bring the pecans. So I end up saying pecan and saying like pecan. It just doesn't sound right, so I say pecan. Normal hickory nut. There's the, trying to extract it whole so you can see the, oh, there we go, okay. So kind of small, but probably a walnut is the closest thing that it tastes to. So let's try one of these pignut hickories. First I gotta take off the entire husk. All right, so that's the husk. Here's the inner nut. Actually, this one has a worm in it, so I'm gonna discard that one. There we go. Okay. So this one Doesn't look like it has any worms in it, so that's a good start. Again, this is the pignut hickory. I mean, it definitely doesn't have as good of a flavor as the other one. It's not, I was expecting it to be bitter. It's not really bitter. It's just kind of not as flavorful, a little grittier, I guess. But I would certainly eat this before I starve to death. It's really not bad. I guess I wouldn't like cultivate this. I wouldn't go out of my way to go pick these up and try to make something out of them. Whereas the first hickories, the regular hickories, I absolutely would. They're just as good, in my opinion, as walnuts. And these are a little bit smaller, so it's just gonna be that much more effort for less of a payoff. They're kind of bland. The other ones have like a taste of fall or something. Yeah, see, at this point, I'm not even gonna bother opening the rest of these because not worth the effort. I'm gonna go out and try to find more of the regular hickory nuts and not the pig nut. Definitely let me know if you like this video and want more foraging content, and I hope you do because it's something that I really enjoy doing. There's so many other things on this property and in other places that I can show you that's edible and that I want to try myself that I haven't tried yet. So give it that thumbs up and throw me in the comments if you're trying anything on your property, if you see anything coming in as the fall approaches, and what you're looking for.